Hey cool kids, welcome back. Today I thought I would take you all on a journey. I say that pretty often, don't I? What I mean by that is that I am going to be reading a book that is breaking the internet, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. I just finished this book and I am so excited for you all to get inside my brain and see what I thought, and hopefully you all can tell me what you thought down in the comments. Yeah, I really tried not to do spoilers, but then I got so passionate about some of the things that I was talking about and we got a little spoilery, so sorry, I'm just not good at that. What can I say? Anyways, yeah, hopefully you have read this book or have no plans to read it if you're watching this video. Hope you enjoy, and catch you while I'm reading Fourth Wing. Okay, if I wasn't immediately impressed because there's a map. I love maps and books, but then there's also like this map of like just the War College as well, and then like this little page in the front that's like a disclaimer. It says, "The following text has been faithfully transcribed from the Varian into the modern language by Jacinia Neilworth, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgiath War College. All events are true, and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen. May their souls be commended to Malik." Like, obviously it's a fictional book, but that is actually hilarious, and I love it so much. Bonjour, mademoiselle and gentlemen in French. Anyways, it's so nice out today. I am not taking a walk. I went to the pizzeria, and actually really funny, I ran into some guy and he was looking at me like, oh my gosh, hi, and I'm like looking at him like, who the are you? And then it kind of clicked in my head like, oh, actually you do look really familiar. And I felt like I should know who he was, and we did the whole like, how are you, like, oh my gosh, you live in the neighborhood, da da da, whatever, nice seeing you thing. And then I walked away and I realized that I still don't know who he is. So that's the tea. I mean, I know him, I just don't know from where or who he is. Anyways, that was a pizzeria. I got myself some iced coffee from Dunkin'. If you're wondering, my order is a medium caramel iced latte with skim milk. And I am gonna go sit in the park next to my house and read Fourth Wing for a while. I have some updates for y'all, but given that I'm walking and I'm not very good at multitasking, and also this coffee is very cold and uncomfortable to hold, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I'm gonna go hit the park
and hopefully be there for a little while. Hopefully also get a little tan, because your girl has not been to a pool or a beach all summer. It's very disappointing. So, fingers crossed. Talk later, friends. Wow, I feel like the birds are really loud today. One in particular, but hopefully it's not too distracting and you all can hear me. I'm at the park. I'm reading Fourth Wing. I actually stayed up like until midnight last night reading with Janeth on FaceTime. Yes, we do Yes, we do body doubling, and we FaceTime each other to watch each other read. But I am very excited. I'm like loving this book so far so much. I only got to about 120 pages last night, even though I read like pretty late. And that's because I think like this is not necessarily the easiest book to read. Like, it's a little dense. I wouldn't say like complicated, like Olivia Blake's writing is pretty dense in like an academic way. Like, it is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that it's not an easy book to read. It's gonna take some time, just by the nature of it, probably because it's like a fantasy. You have to grasp the world. But I think she does a really good job, really similar to like Sarah J. Maas, where she is good at like showing you and doing the world building while also moving the plot forward. I feel like that's really difficult to do in a fantasy book, but she's doing a really good job of it, except for like this one thing that she does where like the main character Violet, she's like trying to get through a really difficult task, and so she's like, I'm gonna recite history that I know, and starts reciting history about the world and like explaining some of like the magic systems and things like that. I find that really annoying. Like, no one actually does that, and you can tell that this is a cop-out that the author is using to kind of give you information that she couldn't find another way to put in here. So that's like annoying, but we can get past that because this book is actually really interesting. Immediately off the rip, I was so excited because we're introduced to a character, and I'm like, this is gonna be my favorite trope. I don't know what it is. There's something about enemies to lovers, y'all. Enemies to lovers. My favorite trope. I love it. I love it here. It's just my bread and butter. It gets me. But then we also have the other main character. Well, he's not a main character, but like the other character that also is a potential love interest, and it's like the friends to lovers trope. And so now you're like, I have friends to lovers, I have enemies to lovers, and it's also going to be a love triangle because hello. This is very exciting. Every time that the enemies to lovers situation comes up, I'm like squealing. Like, literally was squealing last night in FaceTime. I don't know how my friend tolerates me, but I was just having such a good time. The banter is like it's good. We haven't gotten to a place where they're like necessarily flirting yet, but they're going back and forth with each other, and you can like, you get a little hint that like, yes, he's an enemy, but also something is like holding him back from actually like destroying her. So that's very exciting, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion. The one thing I will say is that the character who is more like a friend is really frustrating me, because he's just doing like that very like man thing where he is gonna keep her safe. This motorcycle is so rude. Now that that's over, Dane, he's disrespectful. Like he wants to like protect her, and he's like, you're gonna do this, and is doing that thing where he makes decisions for her that is not what she wants. And also like his actions are showing that he just does not believe in her at all, and I don't F with that. Like, ew, no. Why are you treating her like she's helpless and she can't like do anything? If you really want to help her, then help her be better instead of trying to save her. Goodbye with the savior complex. Yeah, even so, like the banter between both of like the love interests is, I feel like I was a little bit shocked when we met the like friend, because she seemed so like, I'm weak and shy and timid, and then around him like she just became this totally different person, like very bold and like openly flirting, and I was like, oh my gosh, girl. It was shocking. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I like the enemies to lovers, but in the same token, I think that the enemy here is doing a lot more to like help her and believe in her than her friend is, which is extremely disrespectful. And I know that I'm like stuck on just the romance of this book, but honestly, the fantasy aspect of it is so interesting. I know it was like dragons, and I've never read a dragon book before, but the fact that this one is like dragon versus griffins is like, the vibes are phenomenal. I am so excited for this. I hope they make this book into like a movie sometime soon, because I feel like this would be such an epic fantasy movie. I like the idea of like the different like kind of deadly like tasks that they have to complete to get through like this war college, and it's almost giving Divergent by Veronica Roth, just how like when Triss in Divergent has to join Dauntless, and they're very like, we don't care if you live or die, like if you're not trying to get past this challenge, then you're weak and you just got to do it or die, we don't care. That's exactly what this is giving. And I think also the same thing with like the main character in Divergent, Triss, is like the very like weak, like beating all the odds. Like that's exactly what I'm getting from Veronica here as well. Like she is your not typical character who you don't think is going to make it through this, but somehow she does. I think the only difference is like with Triss and Divergent, I feel like with her was more like luck and help that she had. Like I feel like Triss was weak, unfortunately, just the way that it was portrayed, at least in the book. In the movies she was like much stronger, but in this book I feel like Violet is like, yeah, she's like petite, she's small, but she has like this like little fire in her that's gonna get her through. And she's like really, really smart, so she's gonna get through because she has like speed and intelligence, which is like the opposite of what people think you need to get through, which is like strength and like bravery and courage and macho-ness and whatever. So anyways, I've been talking for like a whole 11 minutes now. I'm going to actually read, because that's what I came here to do.
My heart can't rest till then. Ooh, oh, oh, I can't wait to see you again. Okay. I don't know where these songs come up in my brain or how they do. And then the only option we have is to just let them out. So that's where we're at. All right. The fourth of the wing. I'm very far into this book, actually. A little bit more than halfway. I stayed up last night until 4 o'clock in the morning. I stayed up last night until like 4 o'clock in the morning reading this book on FaceTime with my friend, and I was having such a good time, like such a great grand old time. And then I saw that one of my favorite YouTubers posted a video where she basically did like a rant review on this book, and she hated it. Of course, I didn't watch the video because I haven't finished the book, so I didn't want to like taint my opinion or also like potentially ruin anything. However, I did like sift through the comments a little bit, and like a lot of people were like also agreeing that they did not like this book. I think for the YouTuber, it makes sense for me because she's very big on like accurate representation in books, and while I think that like books should be as accurate as possible, I just don't think it's like a deal breaker for me if like the representation is bad, unless it's like, you know, obviously like harmful representation. But like if it's not harmful, like I feel like it's just a book. Like we're just here for the fun vibes. Like I don't know. Let me not get into like very controversial territory in this little chat right now. But there were some points that people were making that were valid. Like, for example, they said that the like dialogue felt like very unnatural. And I kind of get it. I haven't like noticed any of like the cringe millennial phrases that people mention. However, I did notice, like, I think I was saying this before, how like instead of world building through like the plot, she kind of like has the character narrate history from the story, which I thought felt a little bit unnatural and weird. Also, someone in a comment pointed out that while Dane is like super controlling and doesn't like give Violet a lot of agency, Xaden also kind of doesn't, in the way that he, how to explain, like he doesn't give her a choice, he just makes decisions and acts on them. And so like I'm having a hard time putting my thoughts together, but essentially someone in the comments was basically saying how Dane and Xaden, the two love interests, are more like they're two extremes of the problem. So whereas Dane has the approach of like, you're too fragile, you can't do this, I need to save you, and has the savior complex, then Xaden has the approach of like, well, toughen up, just get over it, like deal with it, like. And basically they were saying that both views are toxic, which like, yeah, I kind of agree, but I think that Xaden does like push the main character in a way that Violet expresses that he's not necessarily pushing her past her limit. He's pushing her to be the best that he can, and he seems to know when enough is enough. And so like I think that he's giving her a little bit of like tough love. I don't know. If she does not think that he is passing the limit, then why should I? Right? I don't know. I'm torn. I also think that after I read those comments, I wasn't enjoying the book as much as I was before I read them. And I don't know if that's because reading those comments like tainted my view of the book. I think it's because we went into a different section. So like before I read the comments, I was reading a lot about like her going through all of like the steps in order to continue on in the war college. And then afterwards, I was more reading a section where it was just talking about her relationship development with one of the characters, and so I think I just maybe didn't enjoy like the development of their relationship as much. I think now we're getting into a little bit more action and I am enjoying it a little bit more, but I am kind of disappointed that like I guess before this I thought this was going to be a 5-star read, and now I'm leaning more towards a 4 just because I'm having a great time, but not like giggling and squealing and like 5-star feelings that I was having last night. So that is unfortunate. Anyways, I look crazy because I haven't slept, so I'm gonna go get my hair done and look like a human being and hopefully get this book finished. Only thing I'm here to really say is, yeah, by the way, yeah, halfway through doing my hair. And reading while I do it. But moving on, the way this plot twist, oh my god, this man is trash. Somebody come get him. Oh my god. I was not expecting that. I have like 49 pages left in this book, and I'm really annoyed because there's no way that we can wrap everything up in 49 pages. I just think that this is going to end in a plot. No, not a plot twist. The plot twist just happened. This is going to end in a cliffhanger. And I'm going to hate myself because Iron Flame, which is book 2, has not come out yet. It's very annoying. Anyways, I'll be back. I gotta finish this. Baby, I'm just I don't know the words to this song or the rhythm or anything. Actually, I'm a lose. I don't know what's going on here. And let's move on to Lulu, as the children say these days. Your girl, looks horrible. Oh my god. I actually had just done my hair and then I got caught in the rain, so that's fun. Moving on. What you're actually here for. Woo! I bashed! Yay! Right, that was so excessive. I just like, I don't know what to say about this book. I tabbed a lot of things. And honestly, I underlined even more, and I just like didn't tab everything. I kind of tabbed just like the things that like I was talking about as this week went on. Examples of that and stuff that I want to talk to you all about. Also, you can tell some of this was like on the bus and stuff because why is the underlining so crooked? Actually, I think that was like one of my best work because yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need OT. Anyways, yeah, I think I kind of already mentioned, but like the first half of this book was super interesting, and then after I started reading negative reviews, I just was like, yeah, I can't deny it. Like someone was saying that like they cringed every time she tried to use like millennial like slang and stuff, and I was like, didn't notice that, and then I started to notice that and started to cringe, and I just was like how I feel about this book is how I feel about Colleen Hoover books. Like I guess I can admit that it's not good, but I still liked it and I had a good time. That's my toxic trait, all right? I like bad books. But yeah, I wouldn't say that this book is necessarily a bad book. I felt like I was a little bit annoyed by the romance because like at first it was really good because I love like enemies to lovers just because the brooding and wanting and all of that makes me really excited. Obviously I am I don't know where I was gonna go with that sentence. But I like enemies to lovers. That's my jam. That's my cup of tea. That's my shot of vodka. And then once they like actually like started falling for each other, I just think that it was like too fast. I also feel like the attraction between them was like very physical, and not like emotional enough. Like we get it, he's hot. Like what else? I mean, like, yeah, okay, he does like sweet things here and there, but like it's not enough to like fall in love with him. It was really weird. It just was like all of a sudden I love you, and all of a sudden I love you too. I also thought it was really weird how like she would consistently tell him that she loves him and he wouldn't say it back. Like that's awkward. Girl, how are you like pining over a guy who doesn't feel the same as you? I don't know. Personally, that would feel weird to me. Just a thought. Violet, I don't know. Do you, sis, though? But yeah, whatever. The romance happened. I hate spiciness in books, and there was some in here, but it was like tolerable enough. Like it wasn't anything like ACOTAR where they're growling at each other. That was not a fun time. The one thing about this book that had me super excited was mystical creatures. I thought it was so funny how they would mention like how certain creatures are myths, like wyverns and stuff, and then when they would turn out to be real, she would be surprised. And I'm like, girl, you're literally riding a dragon and you're surprised that wyverns are real? What? But yeah, I love that they were like wyverns and dragons and griffins, and I don't know what a venom is. I've never heard of that, but if it's a pre-existing thing, then woo. But yeah, I thought this was a really easy fantasy to follow. Also, like I feel like a lot of times with fantasies, like they get really complex with the magic systems, learning a new world, learning, you know, like a new political system and all of that. But this one was fairly easy to understand and like follow, kind of. I think I definitely needed the map though, because the like places, they made no sense. Also, this map is like really nice. It's just nice. I also like that there was a map for like Basquiat, which is the college, the war college. It has its own map as well, so that was interesting. And yeah, what can I say? I didn't enjoy the second half of this book as much as I liked the first one, but I had a good time. I immediately pre-ordered the second book, even though I heard that this was going to be a 5-book series, and I don't know if I can handle getting into another 5-book series, but I ordered book 2 and we'll go from there. All right, we got till November and we'll read that one and we'll decide if we are gonna move on, because these authors got me messed up with these long series. Like I cannot be committing like that. To be honest, I'm starting to realize that I'm not a series person at all. I rather a standalone, just because like, I don't know. I read V.E. Schwab's Vicious and Vengeful, and I liked the second book as much as the first one, and that's probably like the only example other than ACOTAR where I actually enjoyed a subsequent book either like the same or more than the first one. But other than those 2 exceptions, I just never ever enjoy second books. So yeah, I also tend to like have a bad habit of reading the first one and then like not coming back to the second one for like a really long time, which then I don't remember what happened in the first book, and then I'm confused, and then I don't enjoy it as much. So that also has like something to do with it, but I don't know, I don't think I can spend that much time in one universe. Yeah, and just get bored. With that being said, I didn't think about a rating for Fourth Wing. I guess I'm gonna go with 3.5 stars. Like, I would say 3 is like I enjoyed this book, and 4 is like I'm obsessed with this book, and 5 is like you have the tingly magic, like my spidey senses are tingling feeling. I definitely thought this was gonna be a 5-star for like a few hundred pages. But yeah, who knows? I feel like if this is a book that I like talk about in the near future constantly, then maybe it could be a 4 stars. But in the same token, it's like I could have lived just fine without this book. Like, I'm not like obsessed. We're gonna go with 3.5 stars, and we're gonna stop talking now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you made it this far, leave me a dragon emoji, duh. And I'll see you guys when I see you next. Bye.